Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. By virtue of the power vested in me as Rector and Vice-Chancellor, I hereby constitute this congregation of the University of the Free State for the awarding and conferring of qualifications in the Faculty of Humanities. I therefore award and confer qualifications to all the candidates that the Dean of Humanities present to this congregation, and in addition, I hereby award and confer qualifications to those whose names appear in the program, but who are not present here today. You may be seated. Well, let me say good morning to you all, and it gives me a great pleasure to welcome you to this, what I would call an auspicious occasion, an occasion of celebration, of jubilation, and celebrating with our loved ones for the achievements that you have done, and in fact the time that you have spent at the University of the Free State, and ultimately the pinnacle of that time was this potential achievement that you have received. Before I want to just give a short message of welcome, I want to welcome some individuals on the platform. First of all, our guest speaker, Mr. Tembekile Morototu. He will be talking to us a little bit later. We also have with us our Vice Rector Academic, will be the Program Director, Dr. Engela van Staden, as well as our Vice Rector Institutional Change, Student Affairs and Community Engagement, Professor Puleng Lenkabula. We have also on our platform two acting registrars, the Acting Registrar for Governance and Policy, Mrs. Elna van Pletsen, and also the Acting Registrar Systems and Administration, Mr. Anban Naidu. In our midst, we also have the campus principal of our South Campus, Professor Daniela Kutsia, and a representative of the convocation, Dr. Peter Dutoy, that's sitting here at the back. We have got our Dean of Humanities that will be reading out your names, those that will receive certificates, diplomas, and degrees, Professor Heidi Hudson, and then we have got representatives from the different faculties that's also sitting on the platform. I would like to recognize our President of the Student Representative Council. In fact, it's the Institutional Student Representative Council, Mr. Sonwabila Ndwaba. And then we have got some special guests from the Castle Bridge School that I believe is sitting on my left, Ms. Tokwe, which is the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Seheri, Mr. Seheri, which is the principal, Ms. Ludidi, which is the English teacher, and also the matric class of 2019. So hearty welcome to all of you, and I hope you're going to enjoy this auspicious occasion with us. Now, if I talk to the graduates, I believe, and I already have mentioned, that this is supposed to be a celebration. Graduations, I often say, aren't church services. It's an opportunity, an event that you show your jubilation and your celebration. And that celebration is particularly a great one for you as an individual, because you can celebrate it with your loved ones, with your family, with your parents, your guardians, and also, to a certain extent, with the staff that actually taught you. But I believe for many of you who are sitting in the audience this morning, this event marks a culmination of what I believe is a great deal of hard work and dedication that you have put in. And in many cases, it's probably sacrifices. Sacrifices that's not only emotional sacrifices, but I also believe financial sacrifices. And there are also many amongst you that would be obtaining the first degree of a university or from a university in your family. So I would like to say, well done. And later on, at the end of the ceremony, I will give you a congratulatory message. But I also would like to share with you the fact that when you get a degree or certificate or diploma at the university or from the University of the Free State, it's not just a degree or just a diploma or just a certificate. We would like to see that content that you receive at the university, the exposure that you have been through studying at the University of the Free State, that would also carry with it a level or set of inherent values that we would like to convey. And that inherent values you would pick up in the classroom. That inherent values are the values that your lecturing staff and support staff are sharing with you. And I believe those sort of values, and there's about 3 that I would like to highlight, because those set of values or value frameworks are the values and the value frameworks that will carry you forward in your world of work, in the way in which you behave or experience society. And the first value is the value of critical inquiry. It's not only to accept what is given to you, but to question that, to argue that, to reflect on it. That is the level of critical inquiry. And that ultimately also will hopefully set you apart from other graduates that come up from higher education. But also, very importantly, is the value of social responsiveness. It's not to be internally inward focused, but to realize that what I have is what was given to me, what was supported for me. And therefore, I have to exhibit that same type of style, that same value of saying that I would like to share. Because it's only through sharing that you yourself would be fulfilled, and you will always, hopefully, try to better the lives of others. And critically, the one value that I believe in a South African context, probably also in a continental and global context, but very much in a South African context, the value that I would like you to really take with you in your world of work and in society, and that's the value of integrity. Because that is something that nobody can take away from you. But if you don't act in a credible way, then people would look at you differently. People will perceive you differently. So integrity, critical inquiry, and social responsiveness, I would like you to take those 3 values together with your degree, certificates, or diploma, and also try to impact the world out there. So please enjoy the morning with us, with your loved ones, and again, hearty welcome. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Peterson, as the Rector and Vice-Chancellor of the University of the Free State. Members of the House, graduates, my role is basically to do the nitty-gritty of the program, and I just want to make a few rules in terms of how we want to proceed with the proceedings in an orderly manner and fashion. So the university makes use of professional and official photographers who are present in the hall today. However, on areas on the campus, there are a number of freelance photographers. And for the purpose of photographing the graduates, it's your choice to choose whoever you want. But the university cannot, because they're not accrediting these photographers. We don't accredit the quality, and we don't have control over the quality of the photographs. Those that arrive after the pre-ceremony announcements are asked to refer to the bottom of the page in the graduation program. Please consider the protocol in terms of that. Today is a time of celebration and of achievement of each and every graduate. Hearing the full names of each student being announced is very important to everyone. You are therefore asked to limit your cheers, to limit your loud exclamations, making them short enough, loud enough, so that everybody can hear, but that it provides time for the announcement of the next graduate. We strive to conduct our ceremony in a very dignified manner and ask that you refrain from leaving the hall before the end of the proceedings to avoid the disturbing of the ceremony. And members of the House, lastly, you are asked to please keep your cell phones on silent during the ceremony. So in short and sweet, I would really appreciate if you could adhere to those rules that has been provided by the university. So it's my pleasure now to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Tembekile Mukhototo. I practiced this, and I still didn't get it right. The media industry took note of Tembekile after his speedy success as a broadcaster. Before getting into the industry, Tembekile was a pupil at the Castlebridge Combined School, where he matriculated in 2010. He studied at the University of the Free State and later transferred to the University of Johannesburg to continue his studies. Starting out in community radio, he's currently a recognized broadcast journalist, working as a news anchor for Johannesburg-based radio station 94.7 and freelance anchor for news channel ENCA. Members of the House, I ask you to put your hands together for Mr. Tembekile Mukhototo to address us.
Oh, wow. So this is it. The view from up here is amazing. Professor Peterson, the rest of your team, thank you all for having me. The graduates, the stars of the day. This is a day that I hope many of you will cherish beyond what lies ahead today and in the years to come. The parents, some of you here, it's taken blood, sweat, tears, and prayer to get us here. Thank you. I must admit that when I was invited to speak here, the first thing I said when I got the email was I thought, the University of the Free State has low standards if they want me to speak. I mean, who invites a random 27-year-old to address a graduation ceremony? But then I remembered my journey. I used to sit in this very venue, like a lot of you, for exams. You might have heard I was here. It was 2011 to 2012 when I studied here. But we'll get to that. But first, before we get there, I want to give you just some background on who I am. My name is Tembekile Mukhototo, TV and radio broadcaster, a journalist with 947, a music radio station based in Johannesburg. I am also an anchor with the biggest news channel in this country, ENCA. Come on now, you need to clap for that. Get yourself together. But my story did not begin with Prime Media or 947 or ENCA. My story began in Bloemfontein in 1992. That's when I was born here. I then went on from grade 0 to matric. I was at Castlebridge, like those lovely people over there to my left. That's where I matriculated. And then I came here 2011. But as I was saying to the parents, that it's taken blood, sweat, tears, and prayer to get here. The same applies in my story. My father passed when I was 13 years old. This was 2005. And from there, that's when my story really took a bit of a tougher turn. Because from there, many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with the story. Financial difficulty, being raised by a single mother with very little. I mean, I lived in a two-roomed house until I was 14 years old. So the dream that I am living now, this life that I call mine, for a while, seemed impossible. It seemed like a faraway dream. But here we are today, 2019, and I can stand before you and say, everything I've ever wanted and continue to yearn for has become true. But when I was here in my schooling, there were those challenges that came up, and I'm sure many of you have experienced them as well. I remember a time when I registered to come and study at this university. I had no funding. I didn't know where the money was going to come from. My mother was a domestic worker, so we couldn't afford what was the 20,000 Rand fee at that time. So we took a chance. I registered, I started studying. Not once did I ever pay my fees, which then led to my financial exclusion in 2012. I remember the day I got that SMS from the university prof. I was leaving, it was after, we'd just written the March test, I think it was, the test series. And I got the message to say, you have been financially excluded due to non-payment and all of that. And for a child who had always known that with my background, when you come from the sort of poverty that I come from, education was the only way to get out. And I've never felt that close to falling back into the cycle as I did on that day. I remember just walking home, taking this message home and showing it to my mother and saying, the message we've been waiting for has arrived. I can no longer continue my studies. But because I knew that I had a dream, I wanted to be on your TV and radio stations. That's what I wanted to do. So I continued with Motheo FM, the community radio station. How many of you here are familiar with Motheo FM? Oh, you don't have to be so polite. Let's see. Yes, it's a community radio station based in Bloemfontein. That's where I started. That's where I cut my teeth as a broadcaster, as a newsreader. I continued with that because I was pursuing a dream that for a while seemed as though I was not going to be able to attain. And after that setback with the University of the Free State, I told myself that this was not going to be the end. What did I do? Another leap of faith. I applied for a spot to study at the University of Johannesburg. This was now end of 2013. Again, by the way, your brother still doesn't have money, hey? I still don't know how I'm paying for this degree, but we're going. So I apply, they accept me, I go in. Again, like many people who've left home, I leave Bloemfontein with a suitcase and a backpack and just hopes and dreams, like many other people. Like many of you who I know came to Bloemfontein under the same circumstances. So off I go to Johannesburg. A friend of mine who I'd met through radio, some of you may know her, Leila Nyani. She is one of the radio voices in this part of the country, gave me 1,500 Rand just so I could get through that first month. Went to the University of Johannesburg, but at the back of my mind, I still knew that I could not afford to be here, so a plan had to be made. And coming from a family of people who'd always worked hard for what they have, I knew that I had to make a plan. So one day, like many of you, I was wasting time in the laboratory, the computer labs. So I'm sitting there Googling all manner of things. And as life would have it, I ended up on the EWN Eyewitness News website. They are the news division for Radio 702 as well as 947. And at the bottom they said, for comments, questions, or queries, email editor@ewn.co.za. Oh, well, I mean, I don't have a comment, but here goes nothing. Hi, my name is Timbekile. This is my sad story, blah, blah, blah. Do you have internships in your newsroom? This is me now. I haven't even graduated. I want to know about internships. I mean, take a leap of faith. There we go. Send this thing through. Thankfully, I'd always kept recordings of some of the shows I'd done at Motheo FM. Were on email as well as the CV. Send these out. An email comes back from a lady by the name of Camilla Barth, who went on to become one of my managers. This email says, we don't have internships at the moment, unfortunately, but what we do have is a spot for freelance overnight newsreaders on 702, the biggest talk radio station in this country. And she asked at the end, would you be keen? I'm like, is she okay? Girl, I wanted an internship. Now you are saying you're going to put me on the radio every weekend. Of course, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm going to be rich. I'll tell you later. It turned out I wasn't quite rich. But off we go. I say, of course, I'd love to do this overnight freelance thing. I don't know how it's going to tie in with my studies, but let's go. So an email comes back a week later. They say, can you come in for an interview? Our big boss, Katie Katapodis, the woman who basically created the monster that is EWN Eyewitness News, would like to speak with you. I go in for my interview. By the way, I've never been to Sandton, hey? I live there with the students in our poverty in West Dean. I'm roughing it there. The night before the interview, I'm asking people who are familiar with Johannesburg, send me a picture of this building. I'm going to 702. What does it look like? And if, like me, you've watched Jerusalem and Tsotsi, you know Johannesburg is a frightening place. So I'm thinking they're going to steal me or my organs while I walk around the CBD. But anyway, I don't tell my mother, I don't tell anyone because I don't want to create expectation. I don't have the job yet. You know what I'm saying? I don't like disappointment. So off we go now. I've got this picture, guys, on my phone. Hey, this is 702, man. I keep looking. Oh, this is the building. There's a lead essay thing. Off we go. We're walking. I'm in my Sunday best now. If you know anything about having been poor, I'm wearing my faded little chinos. I remember they were gray. I had my green shirt. But these are my best clothes, Baba. I was going to make an impression at this interview. How I arrive at this office. It's in Sandton. They offer me tea, there's coffee, there's biscuits. I haven't seen a biscuit in weeks. So of course I'll have one. So off I go into the interview. I'm my usual shy self. You can tell I'm shy, right? I'm sure you can all tell. Sit there, of course. My sparkling personality carries me through. They send me off home. A week later, an email arrives in my inbox. These rude Johannesburg people. No one calls you to let you know you've got the job. So the email says, and I hope you do this with your staff as well, Prof. Welcome to EWN. When would you like to start? I'm like, geez, lady, how about some congratulations? Be nice, how have I been doing? What did I have for supper last week? None of that. When would you like to start? Well, I'm broke. I'd like to start now, if you don't mind. So yeah, now I call my mother, very excited. My mother, who's always supported this broadcasting thing, even though for a while she didn't know what on earth it was about, is excited. She's never heard of 702. It's a Joburg-based radio station. She's like, hi, he works at 702. Every time people ask, he works for 702. It's a radio station. He reads the news. So off I go. But now, when I start working at 702, it isn't the land of milk and honey that I thought it would be. Because when I did the overnight shift, you'd come in at 7 p.m. and you'd read news every hour until 5 the next morning. 3 days in a row. You're the only person in the building. Now, I don't know if this building was built on top of a cemetery, but I did hear noises in the middle of the night. I don't mean to start a rumor, but yes. But also the money is not what I thought it would be, because now, no one told me this, but I'm splitting this overnight shift with 2 other people. So some months I do 1 weekend, some months 2, but you know when they say you are favored, the one girl got fired, the other resigned. I won't tell you about the circumstances. We shan't talk about that. It's not my part of the story. But with all of that, I think the lesson from there is I started doing overnights. And then from doing overnights, a random Saturday, it was the week of the ANC's manifesto launch, January 8th celebration. One of the daytime people was ill on that Saturday. And they said to me, this little boy from Bloemfontein, 23 years old at the time, can you come and do this thing on a Saturday? What did I do? As I had done with every other call I'd received, I made myself available. I availed myself to serve, to learn. I went in, I did this shift. On the Tuesday, I got a call from Katie Katapotis saying, we heard you on the weekend. You sounded amazing. I knew this. How's about these weekends become your slot? Weekend afternoon. You mean I no longer have to sleep at work? Okay, let's go. Now, this weekend afternoon gig also comes with work during the week, so I had to do like reporting 3 days a week. I don't like reporting because you end up in some dusty place and there's a protest and you're hungry and there's no toilet. But I had to stick with it. So I did that for a bit, and with hard work, the next thing came. The next thing was another resignation. I love it when people resign because it usually means I get to move up. So a friend of mine, Nom Samdluli, who used to do the evenings on 702, now resigns. This now means I get to come off weekends, and move on to evenings during the week. Now the money starts to look pretty, because I had still been poor for the first 2 years. And I continued to work on it. Eventually I moved on, got my way onto 947, which is where I am now, the music radio station. Just by a show of hands, how many of you are familiar with Anele Mdoda, the TV presenter? She is one of the people I am grateful to because when I first stood in on her show, I was so nervous. I mean, this was the first celebrity I'd really met in this building. And her newsreader also resigned again, a third resignation that paved the way for me. Again, we love resignations. And Annele now says the station has this idea that they're going to bring someone else to read on her show, to do the news. She says, no, find me that talkative boy from Bloemfontein. Where's he? He must come and read here. I'm like, oh, wow. I mean, I am free Tuesdays. So in I go, I do this thing, I do this thing, I do this. I read, and eventually, when Annele got breakfast, which is where we are now, 947 Breakfast Club, 6 to 9 in the morning on 947, do listen. I see you, Maverick. Maverick is my neighbor. We live in the same complex back in Johannesburg. Recruit everyone to listen. I eventually end up doing the show. I'm not sure how much time I have, but through all of that, I then I get this crazy idea that now I want to be on TV. What do? I mail Sally Burdett. She's the head of anchors at ENCA. I say, hello, Sissy, again, inexperienced, like I did with the radio people, but I'd really like to do this TV news reading thing. Sally says, do you have any TV experience? No, I don't. So what do? I get two of my friends at the time, Dineo and Vumani. We were all worked together at Eyewitness News. There's a studio at the radio station. They come in. Dineo is going to hold up now boards, stories on a board. Vumani is there with his camera. And I'm pretending that this is a TV broadcast. So I'm reading this now because I need to get this TV job. Again, I get the call. Sally says, come in, come do this thing on weekends. And we start doing it. And as all of this is going on, and not without being too long, I think the lessons from all of that to where I am today is that you are responsible for your dreams and aspirations. And that responsibility comes with a lot of work. There are going to be disappointments. You are going to be financially excluded. You're going to be broke some days. But if you believe in what it is that you want to achieve from this day forward, and you put your mind to it, and you take every opportunity that comes your way, no matter how big or small, some of them are small, but they are leading to something bigger. When I started overnights, I never imagined that I would now be the breakfast show anchor who also does television work, having been on broadcasts like the funeral of the late Winnie Madikizela Mandela. I've anchored some amazing things, interviewed some of the most famous people in this country, the most powerful politicians, have all sat across from me. All of this at the age of 27. And I say that to you to say, and I know a lot of you are from the Free State, Bloemfontein. People look at this part of the world and they think, nothing big comes from there. And you have the power to change it. It is all in you. And while we chase these dreams and everything else that we want to get to, I want to encourage you to be kind to one another. Take care of each other. It's hard. A lot of us are battling. A lot of the people next to you are depressed. People come to campus hungry. But if we can all feed off each other, we can do a hell of a lot. The future is ours. There is an entire world out there that is ours for the taking. And if we don't do it now, no one is coming to save us. None of these amazing professionals can do it for us. They've taken us to this point, but from here onwards, it is up to us. And I can only hope that by being here today, I've encouraged one or two of you to go out there and be fearless and chase your dreams, even if it means spending a few nights on an empty stomach, even if it means begging, harassing people on email. Keep doing it. It is all in you. And again, I am incredibly honored to have been given the opportunity to stand here before you today as you begin this brilliant new chapter in your lives, because great things are going to come from this room. It may not look like it now, but it is coming. Thank you.
Sure, what an inspiring story. Heartwarming to see that students can rise to this success, and we're very proud of you. Very, very proud of you, Mr. Mogodu. Yes, give him another hand of applause. And it's so important that you've shown that education is the portal for economic freedom. And you are an example of academic endurance and innovation and harassment to make your life successful in this very difficult circumstances. And thank you very much for joining us today and sharing your experience. And I hope our graduates can walk out here with this inspiring story that you have shared with us. Thank you very much. We would like to listen now to Lippenswaching, that is taken from The Merry Widow, an operetta by composer Franz Leha. The operetta is based on a rich widow, and her countrymen attempt to find her right husband in order to keep her money in the country. To perform the item, ladies and gentlemen, Albertus Engelbrecht and Charity Leburu, accompanied by Anton Esterhuizer, will perform this. I invite them to the podium.
Schweigens flüstern Geigen, hab mich lieb. All die Schritte sagen bitte, hab mich lieb. Sagt klar, es ist wahr, du hast mich lieb.
Bei dem Walzerschritt, da sagt die Seele mit, da hebt das Hirschens Klein, es klopft und pocht, sein Mann, sein Mann. Und er spricht kein Wort, doch tut es fort und immer fort. Ich hab dich ja so lieb, ich hab dich lieb.
Thank you very much. This was wonderful. It's so interesting that the University of Free State have such a diverse. Yesterday we had a jazz item. Today we have a classical item. This is great. Thank you very much. I'm now calling on the Dean, the Humanities, Professor Heidi Hudson to present her candidates.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I have the privilege of requesting you to award certificates and diplomas to the candidates that I introduced to you. Highest Certificate in Music Performance. Diamani N. Masiu T. and the Certificate with Distinction. Matsoso M.J. Ramonhalo SP and the Certificate with Distinction. Namlani R.Y. Diploma in Music. Mwalo L.S.V. Postgraduate Diploma in Gender Studies. Malaku V.C. Rampeng R. Postgraduate Diploma in Governance and Political Transformation. April N.A. Fafudi T.M. Lipolo M.T. Homo J.H. Matlala K.W. Majola S.K. Milwe M.K. Mlalandle N. Clarke T.R. Vruchtenberg A.C. and the degree with distinction. Bachelor of Arts Honours in Communication Science with specialization in Corporate and Marketing Communication. Lubinga E.M. Nkwe G.P. Sadiki V.M. Bachelor of Arts Honours in Communication Science with specialization in Media Studies and Journalism. Eunice L. Hojane S.G. Modisang L. Ntebe TG. Rademan D. Bachelor of Arts Honours in Drama and Theatre Arts. Kumisa Z. You can go. Ramanella TW. Bachelor of Arts Honours in Film and Visual Media. Brits D. Kennedy L. Locke S.I. Lupuwana S.T. Makubela T. Nell M. Talyard N and the degree with distinction. Van Tonder M. Bachelor of Arts Honours in Human Movement Science with specialization in biokinetics. Arends B.S. Becker J and the degree with distinction. Bosov B. Karstens C. David B.W. Else J.C. Furi K. Janse van Rensburg J. Janse van Rensburg L. Leroux E. Meyer W. Moelman A.M. Nieuwenhuizen C. Tucker W.A.D. Vermeulen C. Vos M. West Wynette, West W. Bachelor of Arts Honours in Human Movement Science with specialization in kinderkinetics. Bona fide, C, and the degree with distinction. De Jager, J. De Villiers, C, and the degree with distinction. Gibson, V, and the degree with distinction. Matthews, CE, and the degree with distinction. Nell, M, and the degree with distinction. Skuman, C, and the degree with distinction. Spies, FJ. Van den Berg, RA, and the degree with distinction. Van Niekerk, C, and the degree with distinction. Van Wyk, E, and the degree with distinction. Bachelor of Arts Honours in Human Movement Science with specialization in Sports Science. Brown, KT. Carlisle, J. De Wet, DK. Derksen, R. Greef, G. Heymans, J. Jacobs, CM. Kramer, MM. Landman, F. Marais, BS. Marais, K. Mashilwane, MJ. Muller, J. Nkwala, M. Nialambisa, YP. Bachelor of Arts Honours with specialization in Africa Studies. Halema, H. Makala, WM. Misa, SA. Bachelor of Arts Honours with specialisation in Afrikaans and Dutch. De Toy J. Fulter B. Van der Merwe AC. Bachelor of Arts Honours with specialisation in Anthropology. Van Rensburg E. Bachelor of Arts Honours with specialisation in Anthropology. Leburu FK. Bachelor of Arts Honours with specialisation in Classical Languages. Rautenbach C, and the degree with distinction. Bachelor of Arts Honours with specialisation in Classical Studies. Smith A. Bachelor of Arts Honours with specialisation in Criminology. Miyando WT. Pretty E. Ramabolo PI. Van Bosch WM. Bachelor of Arts Honours with specialisation in English. Dunn SRJ, and the degree with distinction. Frey TJ. Mgobozi NB. Stein IR. Bachelor of Arts Honours with specialisation in Geography. Foster BM. Bachelor of Arts Honours with specialisation in History. Bauer W. Shaku T. Soldaat MM. Bachelor of Arts Honours with specialisation in Language Practice. Hartzenberg SM. Matthijs ND. Bachelor of Arts Honours with specialisation in Philosophy. Julius LA, and the degree with distinction. Maduna, PT, and the degree with distinction. Bachelor of Arts Honours with specialization in political science. De Klerk, R, and the degree with distinction. Germeshuizen, BF. Lucas, MP. Mtube, PN. Bachelor of Arts Honours with specialization in psychology. Esterhuizen, J. Senoge, K. Bachelor of Arts Honours with specialization in Sesotho. Bloemfontein, TE. Masulubele, MA. Matabane, BC. Matsau, MP. Ojai, I. Mokone, PF. Namane, CR. Selamela, LA. Zondwane, NM, and the degree with distinction. Bachelor of Arts Honours with specialization in sociology. Ueta, RP. Bachelor of Psychology Honours. Jansen van Vuren, L. Uester, B, and the degree with distinction. Kosana, L. Matsingwane, AB. Mawela, LA. Molefi, K. Moloi, PD. Mtembu, NF. Mziwake, B. Ndamoy, LA. Pretorius, ER, and the degree with distinction. Van Reenen K, and the degree with distinction. Van Rooyen R. Bachelor of Social Science, honors with specialization in anthropology. Bailey T. Titus L. Bachelor of Social Science, honors with specialization in criminology. Barnard L. Boodoo FC. Giddy AM. Goliath BS. Holzhausen M. Pillay K. Swartz DN. Tamai R. Bachelor of Social Science honors with specialization in psychology. Mark Ahmedi L. Bachelor of Social Science honors with specialization in sociology. Lesay MC. Moletsane GM. Shongwe LK. Bachelor of Honors in Psychology, Pillay K.
Well, I think we can give them all a hand of applause. Wonderful achievement. First, we'd like to say thank you to the Dean of Humanities, Professor Heidi Hudson, for pronouncing the name so eloquently. We can give her a hand of applause. And then I think very much an enlightening talk from our guest speaker, sharing his life story with us this morning, and emphasize the fact that it doesn't really matter what the challenges are in life. If you got a solid foundation, the solid values, and that dedication and that commitment towards an achievement, then you would get there. You would get to your destination. You would get to the dream that you have set out for yourself. And thank you very much, Mr. Tembekele Marototu. Now, I think the graduates that have received their degrees and diplomas and their certificates this morning, they probably would agree with me that they would not have achieved what they have achieved over these years at the University of the Free State if it wasn't for support. Support from their loved ones, their family, their friends. And I would like you to stand up and make eye contact with your loved ones in the audience, if you can, and also shout your appreciation for what they have meant to you over these years. Stand up and... I think you can try another. That's just too soft. All right, you can be seated. Thank you. But that support and motivation didn't only come from your loved ones and your family and your friends and your guardians and your parents. It also came from our academic staff that's sitting here on my right and on my left, and also some of them might also be sitting on the platform. They are the people that not only taught you the technical content, but they were also the people that mentor you, that were there, that if you were struggling with some challenges, problems, try to better understand things, try to provide emotional support. And I would like you to stand up again, and this time you must shout really hard to show your appreciation to our academic staff in front of this platform. Thank you, thank you. Now, it's important to always understand, and I always look at our academic staff, and I call it, for the lack of a better word, the brain trust of the university. They are the people that universities are built around, because they are the knowledge providers. They are the people that carry the knowledge. And it's important for us to recognize that, and I personally, as the Rector and Vice-Chancellor and on behalf of my executive team, would like to say thank you to all of the academics for their contribution. Not only this year, for the many years that they have spent hours. You know, the academics' day never end. You will see them during office hours, or not only office hours, out of office hours at the office, but they also pursue that in the evenings. And I'm sincerely indebted to you for your contribution, and I just would like to say thank you very much for what you mean for the University of the Free State. But I also would like to recognize our support staff. They are often the staff that is the background. You don't often see them. They are the people that ensure that ceremonies such as this are running smoothly, are carried out in a celebratory form, but also in a dignified way. They are the people that making sure that the examinations are on time, that your graduations and graduation ceremonies are on time. They are the people that look after our safety as students and staff. They are the people that work in the residences. And I think for those individuals, the support staff, and they in fact double the number of academic staff at our university. And I would like us to give them a hand of applause, those invisible people that are always there and make sure that everything is running smoothly. Now for our graduates, now that you've graduated, you actually become an alumnus of the University of the Free State. And you will belong as a member of an elite group, which we call the convocation. And the convocation, the number of convocation members of the University of the Free State is in the order of 140 to 150,000. And they in South Africa and around the globe. And the convocation plays a crucial role, because the convocation for me is the continuity between the past, the present, and the future. You will have to be the people that make sure that our quality is maintained, that our quality is being enhanced. You would be the people that will have to speak out if you believe that the university and university management is out of line. You are the people that have to make sure that those generations that comes behind you have the support that you have received when you were at the University of the Free State. And one of the tasks that the convocation members also have is to elect the Chancellor of the university. And that position is a position that engenders the values that we would like to see in an individual, which is aligned with the values of the University of the Free State. Our current Chancellor is Dr. Gotse Mogele. His term of office will come to an end during middle of next year, and therefore you will have an opportunity to bring out your vote, your voice, to ensure that we provide or select or elect a leader as the Chancellor of the University of the Free State that in fact is aligned with the values that we hold so dearly as an institution. I also would like you to keep in contact with the university. You should make sure that we got your details. We would like you to write to us. We would like you to come back to university, as our guest speaker has done so this morning, to come and share your experience, your life story. But very importantly, we also would like you to contribute financially, because you're going to earn a lot of money, to make sure that we don't have financial exclusions. And by the way, we have a guest speaker, we have refined that system of financial exclusion, where the focus is much more on academic exclusion rather than financial exclusion. And we always will go out to be able to find funding where a student is academically eligible to continue. And our SRC is working very hard with us to make sure that that happens. So please keep in contact, but very importantly for today, it's your day. It's your day with the family. Have the celebration, and hearty congratulations again from myself and from the university. And I believe, in the words of the guest speaker, that you should go out there and make an impact out there in society and the world of work. Thank you very much. So this concludes our proceedings for this morning. The university takes great pleasure in inviting all graduates and the guests to EXR 4, which is a venue to the east of this particular venue, where there would be tea and coffee and juice that will be served. Jeannie Marais, accompanied by the graduation instrumental ensemble under the direction of Anton Estracher, will shortly lead us in the singing of the national anthem. After that, you are requested to remain standing while the congregation is dissolved and the main and academic processions leave the hall. So can I ask you to please rise?
Thank you.
by virtue of the power vested in me as Rector and Vice-Chancellor, I hereby dissolve this congregation of the University of the Free State.